What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk tooth.
So a few days ago, I uploaded a video about everyone's favorite prom queen, okay, the Hawk Tuah girl, and being the humble micro YouTuber I am, I put a very modest like goal of 75 likes, and if it was met, I would waste hours of my life, destroy my sanity, and hurt my well-being by watching and rating every single episode of Talk Tuah. And of course, it got up to 75 likes. Actually, a lot more than that. You guys crushed it. So to return the favor, I bring you the 100% genuine, full Talk Tuah tier list. Now to preface before we get started, there's like 11 to 12 hours of Talk Tuah in total. So if you think I'm gonna delve deep into each one, think again. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna give an overall review, pull out some highlights or some lowlights, as the kids may call it, from each episode, rank them, and then move on to the next one. So up first, of course, I mean, what else could it be? The debut from hell, the catalyst of all evil, Talk Tuah episode 1, featuring none other than Whitney Cummings, who's a comedian, I guess, in quotations, of course, because I tried to watch some of her stuff. Didn't really laugh. Her comedy style kind of reminded me of Amy Schumer, but if she was on Ozempic. Not really all that good. So just for the first episode, you had two unfunny people in a room. And overall, it was pretty terrible. It was awful. It was actually terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm not even over exaggerating here. They spend like 6 minutes talking about shaving their what to keep away PDFs, which if you can't figure that one out, then you're too young to be watching this video probably. Anyways, here's a little snippet of that if you don't believe me.
Number one, if you're a girl and you get Botox, number one, you're gonna attract pedophiles. Okay, we're all trying to stop shaving your hair.
Don't stop shaving your vagina. I don't know where the fuck Whitney's going with this. Don't stop.
No.
Also later on in the episode, Whitney really shows her age and dabs. So to rate this one, because it's the catalyst for Talk Tuah, and the fact that maybe we want to do a triple somersault off a bridge, I'm probably going to put it in the lowest tier forbidden footage, and I sincerely apologize for showing it to you, but I don't want to spend too long on each one because I'll go insane. So moving on to number 2. This one was a big change from the first one. It was actually pretty boring. All right, she mainly just talks about telling her granny about her Hawk Tuah fame, and I hope because it was like a Southern grandma, she would beat her on camera, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul style, except not scripted, but I guess not. Overall, nothing really notable on this one. It was just really boring. I was falling asleep like halfway in. It kind of makes me want to do bad things in a public bathroom. But it's the shortest episode in the entire thing. So just for that, I'll put it in the unwatchable category. Definitely would never pick to watch it, but since it only eats up 30 minutes of my time instead of 50, I'm okay. All right, number 3, we got Kaitlyn Bristowe, who I think was on like The Bachelorette or something. I don't know. I'm not a 40-year-old wine mom, so I don't really keep up with these people and their Botox faces. They all just kind of blend together for me. Kaitlyn, she got along with Hawk Tuah girl pretty well, but they still just talked about relationships and stuff for the majority, which seriously, who cares? But there's one really funny clip that shows just how brain dead the Hawk Tuah girl is, which kind of saves the episode in my opinion.
When the hell did you have Bobby Lee on the podcast?
What?
This is funny. Hold on.
Somebody text you that?
It's not. Who is it?
That's Kim Jong-un.
Is that Photoshop? Who does this editing? Yes, it's photo. I don't know. Did you have him on your podcast?
No, I don't think.
Do you know who that is?
I know
About you. I don't know who he is. Who is that? What does he do?
So just for how hard that made me laugh the first time I watched it, I'll put this one in bearable. I'll give it that high of a rating. And we're starting to get interesting now, because now we got a big special guest coming up. You know her, you love her, Dasha. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I don't know who that is either. I think she makes music or something. I don't know. In 4 episodes, they already started blending together. Like, all she talks about is men and relationships.
So who's your biggest, celebrity crush?
I recently hooked up with one of my celebrity crushes.
And by this point in the tier list, the gun was loaded and my finger was resting on the trigger. I'm not gonna lie. But there is one notable discussion that actually redeemed Hawk Tuah girl. In my mind a little though. It made me feel, a little bit better.
It's like, fuck it, I'm in London.
Shit, girl.
What?
I knew it. We talked about
What?
I was actually taking a shit today and I looked at Chelsea. I was like, I bet Dasha takes massive fucking shit.
Yeah, hilarious. So this one gets brain damage. It wasn't quite bad enough to be forbidden footage. It was a little bit more entertaining. They had decent chemistry, but it was still very mind-numbing. Most of it was just nonsensical, whatever conversation. So I'd put it kind of in the middle in brain damage. And we're just going to keep going down the tier list. Next guest is everyone's favorite pop star queen, Jojo Siwa. And even though Jojo Siwa and Hawk Tuah Girl are both universally hated right now for their respective reasons, I actually found this episode much better than the others. Not because it was good or anything. Come on, are we both watching the same thing here? None of them are good. It's just the fact that Jojo was out freaking Hawk Tuah Girl and is obviously an insane person.
I don't like being a top, and this isn't me tooting my own horn. This is just me, like, straight up giving fact. I'm a really good top because I know what I like as a bottom.
Yeah.
So I can be a really good top because I'm like, oh, I would want this. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So I can be a good top.
Also, she said Hawk Tuah again in the episode, so immediately high up on the leaderboard for me. I can't even hold you.
I went to do the Hawk Tuah the other night.
So I'm gonna put it in bearable. I think it deserves it. Okay, woo. Almost halfway done. Who do we have now? I don't know who this is either. Her name's Hannah Berner, another comedian, I guess. In quotations, of course.
It's not as good as society makes it seem. Has anyone ever lost their virginity to a man? You're a man clapping, right? It doesn't count for you. Did it hurt?
This episode was, again, ultra boring, but there was some funny moments because Hawk Tuah Girl's IQ is equivalent to the temperature in a walk-in freezer.
Second of all, how do you guys feel about losing the war?
What?
Civil War. To me.
Oh, we lost the Civil War to you?
Yeah, y'all took the L. Are you over it?
We're a little uneducated.
Yeah.
You guys actually don't know what war you're talking about. No, there was a war of North versus South.
Yeah, it's actually insane. I don't know how she figures out how to get dressed in the morning. They could not have picked a worse person to make famous. Just put it in brain damage, please. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, number 7 out of 13. We're getting there. Okay, not in the double digits yet, but we're getting there. We got Brianna Chickenfry and her friend as the guests. I think Brianna's only accolade to be famous is the fact she dated Zach Bryan, and then he broke up with her on Instagram publicly, which is so insane. I kind of respect the hustle, but the actual episode itself is probably one of the worst ones yet. Not even bad chemistry, just literally no chemistry. So many times where they just don't know what to say, and they just sit there like staring at each other for like a solid 15 seconds. Just very hard to watch. I definitely viewed this one at 2x speed, so it's going in forbidden footage. It's that bad. Don't watch this one for your own sake. I'm trying to save you. And moving on to number 8, this is where they had their first male guest, Josh Richards, who's like a Musical.ly, Vine, TikTok, famous guy, one of those dudes. Kind of like Jake Paul sort of dude. And just off the rip, it starts out like super strong.
But it had like 1 million likes, and it was like a picture of me and you, and it slowly faded into like Plato and Socrates, I believe. And it was like pretty much calling us the next Plato and Socrates. So
What the fuck does that mean?
we're like philosophers, essentially. Do you know who they are?
No.
This one, like the last one, was super hard to watch, but for a different reason, because they try to talk to him like he's another super LA girl. I mean, there's multiple times where you can tell he actually hates the Hawk Tuah Girl and just doesn't want to be there.
Musically is onto the smartboard. I would
Do
say
it for
that's
us.
has to be like a top embarrassing moment for me.
You
for
brought up
sure.
Musically, you gotta do the thing for us.
There's no chance.
The whole episode was extremely cringe. Like, I think throughout the whole thing, I only had one eye open because I was cringing the entire time. So it's going in brain damage as well. I would put it in forbidden footage, it's so bad, but I like seeing someone clap back a little at Hawk Tuah Girl for being an actual troglodyte. All right, next batter up, we got Holly Madison. Okay, she was like an ex-Playboy bunny or something. And by this point, honestly, bro, the cracks are really starting to show. The Hawk Tuah Girl is such a bad host, and she just asks the same questions over and over and over. If I wasn't required to be doing this video, I would have given up right here and probably went to go live in the woods for like 3 weeks. This one's going in unwatchable. It honestly wasn't the worst. Like, the chemistry was actually okay between them, but I literally have nothing to say about it. It's just mostly relationship talk and more nonsensical drivel. I'll be honest, I really zoned out during this one, so unwatchable is where it's gonna go. All right, finally, double digits. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Oh man, the closer we get to the end, the more I start to feel free. I feel like a prisoner, and my release date is just a few days away. Okay, I feel like I'm in Shawshank Redemption right now. This episode was just about Hawk Tuah Girl's secret boyfriend, Pookie, which is like, who gives a shit? People stopped caring about this thing after the very first episode. Nobody cares about your boyfriend. She was setting this up like there's fans who are like, oh my God, where's her boyfriend? She's been talking about him the whole show. But all the people that were commenting on the podcast the whole time up until the end were people just memeing it. No one was actually watching this. The only redeeming part of this whole podcast is the fact they got Jake Paul on at the end, and he called Hawk Tuah girl stupid, basically, and it just kind of went over her head.
Now, how long did it take to put the fat suit on?
That was like 2 hours, and it's a pretty miserable process. But taking it off is worse because it like rips your skin off, and then your skin is basically like covered in glue for the next 4 days. But it's insane how many people thought that shit was real.
I mean, it looked real until I got told it wasn't. I thought it was real.
That's not good. You should probably just look deeper into things maybe a little bit when you're scouring the internet.
So not bad. I like that. I love that. But overall, this one is just super boring. I mean, it's just the two girls like talking to her boyfriend, whatever, but like that's about it. I mean, who cares? I hope you're starting to see a very clear pattern here. Like there's no actual entertainment. It's just empty void. But Jake Paul called her dumb at the end. So I'll put this one in bearable. That right there made it worth like the first 50-ish minutes of boredom. And then somehow for number 11, they got Wiz Khalifa. I don't know how they managed that or why Wiz did it, but this is by far the best episode. They actually had good chemistry, and Wiz Khalifa has done so many of these that he was kind of able to guide the discussions and make this episode not the worst dumpster fire ever. Although Hawk Tuah girl still managed to show she was as dumb as a rock, somehow.
What's the craziest one I've had? I think we live in a goldfish bowl. You know how like goldfish see us?
Yeah.
Well, if there's something outside of space, it looks at us like that.
I could see that.
But yeah, first episode that I could watch and not hear the void calling my name. So it gets somewhat okay tier. And they kept the streak going because in the very next episode, they got Mark Cuban. Yes, Mark Cuban of all people. You know, billionaire, entrepreneur, Shark Tank guy, the big man himself. And throughout the episode, the chemistry or whatever is fine. But what made it better is that Hawk Tuah girl for once in her life just didn't talk much, which is a world's first. And she mostly just let Mark Cuban speak, which I don't want to give the impression that I'm like a Mark Cuban fanboy. But by this point, I listen to Mark Cuban dirty talk ASMR for 18 hours straight and have to hear Hawk Tuah girl say another single dumb thing. But the episode itself, besides Mark Cuban being there, was mid, okay? Just nothing really notable. Mark Cuban said some cool stuff, gave some good financial advice. But like I said, it was mostly him talking. There wasn't really any back and forth. It wasn't really entertaining. You know, the only notable points are when like he brings up some cool stuff about his past or whatever, but like you can't expect much at this point. But for that, I'd probably put it in the bearable tier. And I'm going to use all the financial advice Mark Cuban gave in this episode. And if I go broke, I'll find his address. All right, so thankfully, for all things holy, evil, and everything in between, we're on the final episode of Talk Tuah, where the guest is none other than Brooke Schofield. Yeah, I don't know who it is either. She's like an influencer or something. But she got canceled for making some pretty wacky tweets. I'm not gonna lie. Her and Hawk Tuah girl get along pretty well, and there's actually some funny whatever. Like, it's not the most mind-numbing, but it's not really entertaining either. Although there's one part where Hawk Tuah girl talks about Amish people banging, so that's cool.
No, but it's a thing.
The Amish do that? Have you not heard of the bedsheet theory?
No.
Evidently they cut a hole in it, like so they can't see each other, and they like put it over the woman, and then they put their pecker in the hole. And
so, you know, what better clip to send this debacle of a show out? Because right after this one dropped, the whole crypto thing happened. And now, unfortunately for all of humanity, there will never be another Talk Tuah episode. I cry myself to sleep just thinking about it, okay? But to rate this final and unforgettable episode, I will crown it somewhat okay. Not because I think it's good enough to be there, but because it means I can stop making this video. At least that's what I thought. But literally, as I was rendering this video to upload it, they dropped the second nuke and uploaded episode 14 of Talk Tuah with KSI out of nowhere. So I'm glad I waited, I guess. It's hilarious that KSI has a tendency to befriend or associate with scammers, as his best friend is Logan Paul, and even he himself has dabbled in some crypto controversy. And being honest, I just kind of skimmed this episode. It's not terrible, but not really enjoyable either. It almost seems like they paid JJ to be there or something. But even if it's just like meh, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in somewhat okay, because it may just signal the official return of Talk Tuah, and I might be creaming in my jeans for that. So yeah, I just put myself through actual mental torture for a YouTube video. See if any of your other favorite YouTubers are doing that. Don't actually check, just subscribe to me. But if you enjoyed said torture, leave a like and a comment, and let me know what you think about my ratings. I know a lot of people have strong opinions about this, and some of mine may have been kind of controversial. And if we get, I don't know, like 100 likes, I'll buy the Tuah 24 shirt just to show my dedication to the craft. It's a collector's edition. Okay, whoever's watching this, I love you. Okay, have a good day. I'm gonna mentally cleanse myself after this by streaking through a crowded Costco. All right, bye-bye.